Morning, I'm going to the gym and I have a special video for you. This video came from me sitting down with a client. I'm not going to answer or I'm not going to talk about everything in the car. I'm just going to tell you what the video is about, and then you'll see me probably on the treadmill. Today I am walking for about 45 minutes, then doing some abs workout. So that is it for today, training wise. But while I'm on the treadmill, I thought would be a perfect opportunity for me to explain to you all of this. So what is it about? I had a call with a client. We just normally have calls, and the client was telling me that she has been doing what she's been doing, and this is legit, for 17 years. But even though she's been doing it for 17 years, have real result, she doesn't feel like she has any visibility. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of awkward in this car because I really need to have like something to put this camera on, but I ordered it and it's on its way and probably coming from China, and it's going to take a long time. But anyways, until then, you have to bear with me. Back to the story. So, she was just saying that her visibility isn't what she would imagine it to be after 17 years, which makes sense. And I have a lot of experts that I know that deal with the same thing. They are so good in what they do, but their visibility is just not there. They are not, thought leaders, and they want to become thought leaders. And yeah, you get it. So I, as you know, have built over 300 brands. I've been doing that for 15 years myself. And just now, since the past year, have found the courage to build my own brand in public, which I am doing right now. So I want to take you through a 5 steps that I think, and I wrote this down after the conversation, that I think and which I advised her to do when it comes to visibility, building a personal brand. And if you are that person, so this video is for you. If you are an expert, you've been in your business between 5, 10, 15 years, you know what you're doing, you have real results. This video is not for people who are just starting out. You can watch if you want, but this video is for those who have really been in the game for a minute. So I have these 5 points. It's written down on my phone, but I'll tell you all about it on the treadmill. They kind of intertwine, but it comes down to visibility, visibility, visibility. That's the theme for this video. So stick around and watch it. When I snap my fingers, you'll see me on a treadmill, and hopefully it's not so busy that I can just have a comfortable chat with you. Okay. When I snap my fingers, we are in the gym. We are in the gym, as I said. It's not very busy. You might see me looking down, but I'm looking down on my phone, and I might be a bit far from you, but so let's get going. So the first thing that I wrote down, and before I start, let me tell you that I too suffer from this. I started out posting consistently in October of last year, 2025, and posting, it's different. Filming in public is different. It's something that you have to learn. And I had difficulty because I know I came from, being 15 years in the industry, building brands myself, and, still not being like well known. In my case, I've built brands for companies, so I know it takes time. I'm patient. But building a personal brand is not done in a day. It takes time, it takes years, and I don't believe there's any luck to it. It's just you being louder than someone else. So the first thing that I wrote down kind of goes into this, and I'll read it. It says, visibility is not a reward for being good. You can be the best in the room and still be invisible. Not because you lack talent, but because you have never built a story around what you do. Right? So even though let me turn this thing down before I'm all out of breath. Even though you're the best in the room, If you do not have a story built around what you do, no one will notice. Like, you will really go unnoticed. And the reason is the work you speak, nobody's listening to because nobody knows where to look. If you're not visible, if you don't have a story, you're not visible. And nobody knows where to look. They don't know about you. Let me give you an example. You might think of a person that is pretty famous in the media. Let's say Stephen Bartlett. You're not thinking about the companies or the millions that he has. There's a deeper connection between you and a person like him. And it is his story. Like, growing up with his mom and dad, his household, the situation in his house, the things that he tells publicly, that's his story. And those things are relatable and makes him stand out beside his work. So your story is so important for visibility. And when you think about the framework, and I've probably mentioned it so many times, my NICE framework, it's all about your story. So what is the narrative, insight, connection, execution? That's my NICE framework. The narrative, that's the first thing. That's your story. So I advise this client of mine to write down 5 things about her that separates her from everyone else. I don't know, I'm kind of out of breath and I haven't been walking so long. It's probably walking and filming. I've never done this on the treadmill before, so bear with me. So in my case, as you know, I've been in a cult, and being in a cult it changes you as a person. It makes you think different, and not a lot of people are used to that. It's a good thing. Not a lot of people have experienced that. So that is an edge to my story. Another edge to my story is that I played college basketball. Another edge to my story is that I've written books. So these are things that the normal person might not have experienced. And I'm sure there are 5 things that you can write down that separates you from someone else. It could be very good things, but it could also be very negative things. Like, I've had clients who have been in abusive relationships. Those things could also help, strengthen your story, making you relatable to your audience. Because at the end of the day, storytelling, having a story, it's all about being relatable, having someone understand you more, having them feel closer to you because of your story. And that is exactly what this does. So if you're suffering from not being visible, the first thing you need to think about is your story. Like, do people know where to look when they think about you? And why would they choose you? You need a deeper connection. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. Trust me, guys, I'm not in such a bad shape, but it might just be the filming on the treadmill. Oh, there's another thing that a cult did for me. Like, a lot of people would be scared to film in public, and I actually don't. Like, really, I don't, because I've been preaching in that cult, on the street, like in public places for, over a decade. So your shame, like if your shame, feeling shame or a bit shame, I don't feel that at all. Like, I really don't care what people think. And this all thanks to the cult. One of the better things that I got out of that. So that's also part of my story. The reason I could just walk on this treadmill and not care who is behind me, who is in front of me, what they think. I don't care. And it's not because I'm brave. It's because of my story. I've been in a cult where I was walking up to people, strangers, asking them if they know about the Bible and if they've heard about certain things in the Bible and if they want to be saved and if they want to go to heaven, you know, all that. Like, I was doing all that. All right, let's move on to number 2. So, number 2 advice that I gave her was this: watching less experienced people pass you is not a sign of behind. So her whole premise is, you know, I am very experienced and I'm not getting the visibility that I think that I've deserved, even though I've done very good work. And another thing that she mentioned was, I see people that have half the years that I've put in, half the skills that I have, and they're passing me. So I gave her this advice: watching less experienced people pass you is not a sign you're behind. It's a sign they understand something about your story that you did not. So they're not better, they're just louder and speaking the right language. This is a skill you can learn. So basically what I'm saying here is that the people, they're speaking to their audience. They're speaking the right language. And with the right language, I mean here, they're giving off the right signal. So I always give the example of a market. If you go to a marketplace and people are selling different types of things, and you're on that marketplace to get oranges, okay? So you need oranges. If you hear people shouting apples and shouting bananas and shouting pears, you won't listen because you are looking for oranges. The person that you find that is selling the oranges and is shouting the oranges the loudest, that's who you're going to. So if there are 3 people selling oranges and 2 out of 3 are very quiet, but one of them is shouting that they have the best oranges, the most delicious oranges, who are you going to? Obviously, you're going to the one that is louder. And that's my point right here. Even though people are less experienced, right? Even though they don't have your clients that you have, if they are shouting harder, louder, then obviously they are going to be the better choice. And not only loud, if they're clear on what they're selling. So you might not be visible because you're just not clear on what you're selling, and it takes time. And this is positioning. Like, how do you position your story, your skill in the market, right? How are you going to do that? And this is something that I too, to be honest, I too struggle with, because I do brand strategy. I can, build you from a logo to a whole strategy concept for area development. That's how skilled I am. But this year I had to narrow down my skills. So instead of shouting, I build websites, I make logos, I do concepts, I do strategies. Instead of shouting the whole brand strategy, I just narrowed it down to positioning and personal branding, because that's what I love to do. And that's what I've been shouting on all my platforms. So before, to stay in the analogy, I was shouting, I sell fruits. That's what I was shouting. And I was shouting bananas, apple, pears, everything. And now I'm just shouting, I sell oranges. And shouting that over and over and over, so that the right people who are looking for oranges can find me. I hope that analogy makes sense to you, right? And what I told her this, and I'm not going to keep this away from you, it is not luck. Oftentimes we think that people who succeed, we say, hey, they're just lucky. They're not good. I'm better than them, but they're just lucky. They're lucky that they're able to get that visibility. No, it's not luck. They're just clear. They have more clarity. And as long as you don't have the clarity, it's not going to work for you. So if you want visibility, visibility is clarity. Visibility is commitment. And clarity means being clear on one message and just saying that over and over and over and over again until you get that visibility that you deserve. All right, let's move on to number 3. So number 3 that I get advice is this. The reason you feel like you should be there already is because you are measuring visibility the wrong way. You are looking at output, projects, results, clients. But thought leadership is not built on output. It is built on the story that frames all of it. And this point is a framework. So this client was thinking about results, experience, just thinking about everything that that person could measure. However, with thought leadership, and this is something that she wants to become. So on LinkedIn, she wants to become as the go-to person within that field. That's what I want to. I want to become known as, the guy for positioning, the positioning guy, the personal branding guy. That's what I want to become. And more people within the industry that have, 15 to 20 years, they want to become that person in their industry. They have already had years of success. They've built things, visible things. They have a certain reputation. And now they just want to level up on that. So we see that in the industry of experts. Maybe you're an expert too. And that's something that you want. And yeah, we see that a lot in the industry. So this is nothing new for me that she wants that. But in order to get to that level, you need to have a framework. So with that one message, you need to have something that people remember you by. And there are 2 frameworks that I have, but one that I'm, building for, and that's my NICE framework. NICE, narrative, insight, connection, execution. So when you're thinking about your thought leadership, definitely think about having a framework, having something that you're known for, or dismissing something that you don't believe in. So in my case, I don't believe in niching down. I believe it's better to be nice. See what I did there? My framework, niching down, I think is external, and my NICE framework is internal, which makes it sustainable, which makes it a part of you, and makes it something that you can keep for a longer time instead of trying to fit in with a niche. So challenge the normal thought, challenge the general thought within your field, within your industry. So if everyone is saying, for example, say that you are a carpenter, and the general idea, and this is a weird example, but the general idea is that you should use a hammer to hit a nail. If you want to become a thought leader, challenge that thought and say, hey, no, you don't need a hammer, you need a shoe. I'm just making something up, but get what I mean? Challenge that narrative. What is true for you? And that will make you stand out. So don't try to follow the crowd. Don't try to fit in. Challenge. And from that challenge, create a framework, something that's easily memorable for your audience. And and go from there. So that is number 3. Right. Let's move on to number 4. Most experts with 15 years, or in her case 17 years, have everything they need for a powerful personal brand, except one thing. A clear answer to this question: what do you want to be known for? Not what you do. And this is so true that, and when I told her this, she kind of smiled. We have the experience. You're an expert, I'm an expert, she's an expert. We have that experience. But our problem is not that we don't have that. We just don't know what we want to be known for. And it's kind of scary because it feels like we're going to narrow down, right? It feels like we're going to niche down too much. We don't want to lose ourselves in that process. But being known for something is important. think of someone that's very successful, like, let's say, just name someone. I don't know. Einstein. Einstein, known for, I think, was it relativity? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but something scientific. The guy who invented the paperclips. I don't know his name, but he's known for the paperclip. So ask yourself this question: what is it that you want to be known for? Not what you do. And when we answer this question, what we want to be known for, then we can influence that. We can influence that through content on people's mind. And that's where Start Leadership starts, especially on LinkedIn. Post enough about one topic, what you want to be known for, and you'll definitely be one of the thought leaders on LinkedIn if you're committed and you do it long enough. Let's see, what else did I write down? What is the one thing people should think of when they hear your name? Most people cannot answer that in one sentence. So it's the same thing. When people think of you, who do they think of first? When they hear your name, do they automatically think about brand strategy? Do they think about carpentry? Do they think about lawyer? What do they think about specifically when they hear your name? That is very important. Okay. So we're on the treadmill. It's 19 minutes in. I have the last point right now. But I think I have to get working out, get the abs workout in. So I'm going to get the abs workout in, and then we're going to answer the last question in the car. Cool? All right. So number 5 remains. Let's get the walking in, the ab workout in, and we'll go from there. I know I'm not exactly in the car right now, but I thought in between breaks I could answer these questions. Wait, let me take my headphones off. So I thought in between breaks I could answer these questions. And last question, so I'm gonna get to that while I'm having my break, and then you can watch me work out, or I don't know how I'll do this in the edit, but I'm doing crunches, I'm doing my abs, and it's tough because I haven't done my abs since last week. And last week when I did it for the first time since my visit to Bosnia, it really burned my abs. Like I was having cramps. I had to stop. So so for today, I'm taking it a little more easy because I don't want to cramp up so soon. I want to finish my workout. So So let me take a good rest and answer this question for you. So number 5, the question that I asked her, or the advice that I gave her. All these advices are advice that I gave her. I'm just like recycling them because I think others like myself and you as well, if you're at this point, could benefit from it. So number 5 is patience is not the problem. Direction is. Waiting longer will not fix invisible positioning. You do not need more time. You need to go back and find the story that is running through the red line, right here. So I'm saying like the red line, you need to find the story, that red line that is running through everything that you have built, and then you need to make it visible. We all have a story, as I mentioned in the beginning, and oftentimes we think we just need to be patient, and yes, we have to be patient, but if you're patiently waiting or doing something over and over and over again that is not working, like most of the people or most of the experts that I know that have been doing their thing for 15, 20 years, they're just doing the same thing and thinking that that will automatically give them, wait 1 second. It sounded like a train is going by, but it's not. It's someone carrying something. But anyways, So they'll be patiently waiting for 15, 20 years, thinking that one day they'll get visibility online, one day people will know about them. But it doesn't happen like that. Really, really it doesn't. Because the reason you're not visible is because you're not telling your story. And that has to do with positioning. It has to do with strategy. Really thinking about your positioning, how you're positioning yourself in the minds of others. That is personal branding. And yeah, so that is what I do. That is my job. That is my thing. So this is me shouting orange, orange, orange. That is what I do. If that's not something that you do, you need to find an expert or continue watching these videos where I break down personal branding, positioning, so you can learn something from these videos. If you want more, professional service, check out my LinkedIn. Check out the links that I have. I have a newsletter link, and I'm not selling on this channel, but if you're interested, check that out. But yeah, these 5 things, I think these are good starts. So please comment below if you have any questions or if you have any additions to these 5 points. And I just wish you visibility. I'm building in public. Like right now, I'm in the weight room. I know it seems like it has nothing to do with personal branding and positioning, which it does not. The weight room does teach you endurance. It does teach you how to, repetition, commitment to something, showing up. It teaches you a lot. But this is part of my story. I am in this place 6 days a week. It's just a part of who I am. It's my identity, and my personal branding, my positioning that I'm putting out there is me showing you who I am, showing up as myself online, and not just being real, being authentic. And this is something that I do daily. So I'm taking you in these videos behind the scenes while teaching you something about personal branding, and I plan to do that more often. So if this is something that you want to see, want to learn about, if you're interested in, please definitely check that out. Check out my videos. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. I don't know what's wrong with my voice today. And comment below. That's the most important thing for you to do. So appreciate you tuning in. I'll see you again next time. Hit that subscribe button so that you know when I upload my next video. I try to upload 3 times a week or more. So hit that subscribe button to stay tuned. All right, appreciate you, and I'm out. Peace.